Well, good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing? Good. Yeah, I know we worked a long, long day, so everybody might be a little tired. I drink a lot of caffeine, so if I start going a million miles a minute, just give me a second. I'll catch myself, and we will get back to it. So this evening, I have the opportunity to speak on mission. Last night, Pastor Rob was talking about doctrine, mission, and community, and how they all integrate here at Orlando North. You can't have doctrine without mission. You can't have mission without community. They all need to work together. So I'm going to be talking about mission tonight and how that plays a role here at Orlando North. So I have a question. Have you ever lost anything important to you? Well, that you think might be important to you? Like remote control. It's nothing more frustrating than losing the remote control. And I don't even watch TV a lot, but when I want to watch TV, especially on Saturday, the remote's gone. And it's either Leona has it playing with her baby dolls, Zayla's throwing it somewhere, Jordan has it in his pocket taking it to school, or the dog is running around with the remote. I'm like, I can never find it when I want it. Or maybe, you've lost your phone or your keys, but you're losing something all the time. Maybe you're like me. I lose things all the time. Do you know why I lose things all the time? They're not important to me. They're not important to me at all. Ask my wife. She's always finding my things. I'm always like, I can't see it. I can't find it. Where is it? She says, it's right next to you. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was there. Or like Pastor Rob, I leave my wallet in Pastor Rob's car all the time. And he calls me on his way home saying, hey, your wallet's in my car. I'm like, I didn't even know I lost my wallet. Because the thing is, those things really are not that important to me. I mean, if I lose them, it's inconvenient, but they're replaceable. I mean, my license, I'll go to the DMV, even though no one wants to go to the DMV. Right. I'll go there, but, it's inconvenient. I can replace all those things. So that's why there's no urgency there. Now, have you ever lost something that you cannot replace? Something you cannot replace. Now, this story is a little hard for me because it happened to us just last year. We are at Manny and Lauren's house. She's laughing because she knows the story. Because it's okay. It doesn't go well in the beginning. Just wait. So we are at Manny and Lauren's house. They are getting to know us. We're getting to know them. And we bring our kids over, and we are having a good time. We're sitting around the table. We're laughing. We're eating. Manny and I are coming up with some stupid idea for a podcast. I mean, it is going well. And so we're sitting at this table, and they have this huge window right next to their dining table. And so we're sitting at the table. Every few minutes, you'll see Leona with her little curly hair just zoom past the window. You're like, okay, so she's outside, she's playing, she's fine. Every few minutes, we look over, she's running back and forth, just little white lightning, just back. And then a few minutes go by, and we're like, we don't see her. Where is she? So we're looking out the window. We don't see her. So I'm like, oh, she must be in the corner somewhere. So we go outside. They have a fenced-in yard, really big, but fenced-in yard. There's no way that Leona can get out. And so we look back there in the yard, and she's gone. She's gone. There's a small crack in his door, and she got the bright idea to go through that small crack. So she's gone. We run into the house. We're screaming her name. Leona, where are you? Leona, we can't find you. So we're looking under tables. We're looking in the bathroom. We're looking in closets, refrigerator, freezer. It doesn't matter. We are looking. Where are you? Have you ever lost something that's irreplaceable? And so this evening, we are going to be looking at a story in the Bible about missions and how God feels about that thing that is lost, that one that is lost, that person that is lost. So if you have your Bible, turn to Luke chapter 15. We're going to be reading two parables. We're going to be reading Luke 15, 1 through 7, and then Luke 15, 8 through 10. And this is what it says. Luke 15, 1 through 7. Now the tax collectors and sinners were all drawing near to him, and the Pharisees and the scribes grumbled, saying, this man receives sinners and eats with them. So he told them this parable. What man of you, having 100 sheep, if he has lost one of them, does not leave the 99 in the open country and go after the one that is lost until he finds it? And when he has found it, he lays it on his shoulders, rejoicing. And when he comes home, he calls together his friends and his neighbors, saying to them, rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep that was lost. Just so I tell you, there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who need no repentance. Then he continues in verse 8. He says, or what woman having 10 silver coins, if she loses one coin, does not light a lamp and sweep the house and seek diligently until she finds it? And when she has found it, she calls together her friends and neighbors, saying, rejoice with me, for I have found the coin that I had lost. Just so, I tell you, there is joy before the angels of God over one sinner that repents. Now, I'm not going to assume everyone in here has been a Christian for a long time, but if you've been a Christian for a while, you know the importance of evangelism. You know it's something we must do. We need to spread the message of Christ. Why do we do this? Because we know that this is what Jesus has come to do. It says in Luke chapter 19 that he has come to seek and to save that which is lost. So we know it's important. Why is it important? Because at the end of the day, we are in a spiritual battle, and we know for the souls of men and women that we must spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. So we know the importance. But why is it so hard sometimes for us to evangelize? So there are two forms of evangelism. There's the big corporate evangelism. It's what we do on Sunday mornings. That's why we put so much time and effort and prayer into it. But then there's also the one-on-one evangelism. It's what we do in our day-to-day life. I think there's one reason why we find evangelism hard. I think it's because we sometimes forget how important evangelism really is to God. How important is it that he finds that one, that lost one? See, Jesus is sitting here and he's having dinner with all of these tax collectors and these sinners and the Pharisees. And the Pharisees are sitting there and they're like, how dare you eat with tax collectors and sinners? So tax collectors in those days were considered evil people, bad people. So they worked for Rome, but they collected taxes from Jewish people. But they were also Jews themselves. And so what they would do, they would collect the taxes, but then they would charge them more, so they were stealing from their own people. They were hated by everyone. Rome didn't want them. Their own people didn't want them. Nobody wanted to be a tax collector. It's like saying somebody wants to be a Michigan fan. It's not what you really want to do. Nobody wants to be a Michigan fan. But then you have the sinners. Now, the sinners were everyone else. So the sinners were everyone else that didn't line up with the religious views of that day. So you have people that just didn't understand the Bible, but then you also have people like thieves and prostitutes and things like that. They all fell under sinners. And they're all having dinner with Jesus. And so they're sitting at this table, the tax collectors and the sinners. The Pharisees are probably on the outside looking in. They're probably in the hallways or around the walls, because in those days you didn't want to eat with tax collectors and sinners because they would defile you. You were like, there's no way that you should eat with them. And they know that Jesus was a teacher. So they're like, teacher, why do you eat with these people that are going to defile you? And Jesus looks at them. He says, okay, Pharisee, let me give you a story here. There's a shepherd. He has 100 sheep. One of them is lost. So what does he do? He leaves the 99 healthy, the 99 found, the 99 righteous sheep to go and find the one that is lost in the wilderness. Now, once he finds this sheep, what is he going to do? He's going to pick up this sheep. He's going to carry this sheep back to the fold. He is going to rejoice because he has found the one that is lost. He said, okay, let's look at it this way. There's this woman. She has 10 coins. Now, today, 10 coins is like, okay, she had 10 pennies, but that's not really what it was. So the coin that she lost was called a drachma. So a drachma was probably like a day's wage. So what happened was that she lost a tenth of her income. So she's freaking out. I don't know about you, but if I lost a tenth of my income, I would be going crazy. I'm like, where is it? What happened to it? Taxes. But anyway, that's what I would do. And so she is going crazy in the house, and she's sweeping. She's looking for it. And once she finds it, what does she do? She rejoices because she's found that thing that was lost. Now, I want you to picture this for just a minute. Jesus is sitting around this table. He's got tax collectors. He's got sinners. He's got the Pharisees. And he says to them, I am looking for the one that is lost. Have you ever lost something that is irreplaceable? Something for a fact you know that if you cannot find it, you are going to be missing something for the rest of your life. Something that if you do not find it, it's going to drive you crazy. It's going to keep you up at night. You're not going to be able to sleep. You're not going to be able to eat because you cannot find this thing, this one, this person that you are looking for. So when Jesus says that he is looking for that one, it's not like he's casually searching or he's casually looking. He is frantically searching, looking for that one, someone that is still lost. Why? Because he wants to bring them back into the fold. And so he's talking to the Pharisees and he's saying, this is why I eat with tax collectors and sinners. I don't need to sit at the table with the 99 righteous. You guys are found. You guys are righteous. You guys are okay. But what we need to do is go and find the one that is lost. Can you imagine being a Pharisee sitting? I mean, you ask Jesus the question, what are you doing, Jesus? What are you doing here? Why are you doing this? You see, we know the law. We study the law our whole life. We know that you should not be doing this. We know the purpose of God. We've read our Bible front and back. We've memorized it. We know the whole thing. And we know from front to back, you should not be sitting here with tax collectors and sinners. And then God in the flesh says, you got it all wrong. The whole reason I'm here is for the tax collector and the sinner. So this is so important to God. How do we make this important to us? Now, before I get there, I want to continue the story. So when we read our Bible, we don't get all of the context of everything that's going on. So this part is just my imagination. I imagine that Jesus is sitting at this table and he's telling this story. And then he pauses and he looks in the face of the tax collector. Zacchaeus, I'm looking for you. And when I find you, Zacchaeus, when I find you, the tax collector, the one that is hated above everyone else, the one that no one can stand, when I find you, I'm going to rejoice. But then he looks at the prostitute. He's like, when I find you, I've been looking for you. I've been searching for you. I've been up at night looking for you. Where have you been? When he finds her, he rejoices. Can you imagine what they felt at that moment? Here is this popular teacher. He teaches the word of God, and he's not treating them like every other Pharisee. He's saying, no, they got it wrong. I've been looking for you. You've not been looking for me. You've not been searching for me. I've been searching for you. I've come here for you. I've come to find you. Can you imagine the Pharisees? No, I don't know what I would have done when I was in that room, but that probably would have been the last time I asked Jesus a question, because I would have felt this big. So he's surrounded by tax collectors and sinners. And he's saying, once I find you, I'm going to rejoice. Once he found you, wherever he found you at, he rejoiced over you. No matter where he found you at, no matter if he found you at the top of the mountain or the very bottom of a garbage dump, it doesn't matter where he found you at, because once he found you, he rejoiced over you. When he looked at you, he didn't say, oh, now they're going to mess up again, or oh, they're going to make another mistake, or oh, they're not worthy, or oh, they're not worth it. He said, no, I'm rejoicing over you because I've been looking for you, I've been searching for you, and I need to continue so I can find someone else that is lost. So purpose is, I've come to seek and to save that which is lost. Now, I'm not talking about any type of normal rejoicing. I'm not saying like when you find the remote control and you're like, yes, I found the remote control. Or even when Michigan did beat Ohio State, there was a rejoicing, right? Twice. But still, there's rejoicing. You rejoice over that. But I'm not talking about that type of rejoicing. You see, when we lost Leona, we searched everywhere. Once we realized she was not in the house, I bolted out the house. Manny was right behind me. He didn't even know me at the time. Lauren's out the house. Bethany's out the house. We are going crazy. We are going frantic. Bethany's calling the police. She's crying. I don't know if they understood what she was saying. They probably just rushed anyway. And so I'm running towards traffic. Manny's running towards there's a gutter there. He's running towards that. Lauren's running towards houses. We're beating on doors. We're saying, have you seen our daughter? This is what she looks like. This is who she is. Have you seen our daughter? At that very moment, time stood still. Nothing else mattered. The joy of the conversation is gone. Our friendship was probably lost at that moment. There's no way I would have invited myself back to their house. I'm like, you come over once and you lose your child. This is not going to work. But we all stopped. Nothing mattered. And so I'm running towards oncoming traffic like a crazy man because, yeah. Anyway, so I'm running towards oncoming traffic and I'm looking to see if she's running up and down the street, so I don't see her. So I hop over the fence. There's a whole bunch of dogs. I'm looking to see if she's over there. She's not there. I run back, I go into the woods, and I'm looking at this spider web. I hate spiders. I hate spiders. Like Leona, I hate them. I hate it so bad. But there's a spider web, and there's this spider, and he probably wasn't huge, but to me, he looked massive. And he's just staring at me. I'm staring at him, and I was like, I guess today's a good day to die. So I ran through the spider web, running into the woods in the forest, going wild. I run out of the woods, and then I see the police coming down the street. I'm talking about there's 4 or 5 of them. They turn onto the street, and then there's one that just slowly watches me. Because I'm talking about I am running up and down the street. I'm screaming my head off. I'm jumping up and down. I'm looking in people's yards. I'm talking about I am going crazy. And as he pulls up to me, he says, "You must be the father." Now, me being human, who makes mistakes all the time, who doesn't always get it right. One look at me, you could tell that I was the father of someone that was lost. How do you think God feels about the one that is lost? The angst, the anxiety, the pressure, the fear, the anger, all those things that I felt does not compare in comparison to what God feels for those that are lost. So he's sitting here talking to the Pharisees. You don't get it. I'm not here for you. You are secure. You are safe. But what we are here for are the ones that are lost in the wilderness. What we are here for are the ones that are lost in the dark. Are you going to help me find them? Or are you going to sit here with the 99 that are already righteous? And so we're running, we're searching, we're screaming, we're looking, and we're like, where can she be? A few minutes go by. Lauren comes around the corner. I found her. Do you know where Leona was? She wasn't even that far off. She was across the street at somebody's house, sitting in their driveway, picking their rocks. That's what she was doing, right next to their truck. Leona didn't have any shoes on because she was in the backyard. She traversed it on a hot day. She's walking on pavement. There's no telling what this girl crossed or what she saw. But then she sits down. She's picking rocks. The police officer drives by. He sees her, and then he gets out of his car. She offers him a rock, like, oh, here you go. You're looking for me. And he's like, I'm looking for you. And so he sees Lauren. The officer gives it to Lauren, and then she comes around the corner. The relief that we felt at that moment is indescribable. You see, we woke up the entire neighborhood, everyone that would listen. I'm stopping cars to look just to make sure nobody took my kid. It was crazy. I'm surprised I didn't get shot. It's crazy what we were doing, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter. I was willing to throw my life on the line because I knew that I lost something that is irreplaceable. I know she is somewhere, and I don't care what it takes to find her. I'm not going to sleep. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not leaving this place until I know where she is. And so we find her. And Bethany doesn't run, okay? I love my wife. She doesn't run. But when she saw Leona, she took off. You know why? Because she was rejoicing that the one that was lost was found. I broke down in the middle of the street. Why? Because the one that was lost was found. Neighbors, people that didn't even know who we were, they're screaming, they're rejoicing. Why? Because the one that was lost was found. So when Jesus says he's talking about rejoicing, he's not like, yay, it's rejoice. They are throwing a party because the one that is lost has been found. And so what he's asking us to do as part of Orlando North and as being a Christian is go help him find the one that is lost. Help add to the joy. Help him rejoice in finding the one that needs to be found. Why? Because somebody helped find you. You wouldn't be here if someone didn't help find you. And so what do we do with this? What do we do with this call? What do we do with this mandate to go and help seek those that are lost? We don't do the saving. There's nothing we can do to save that person, but we can definitely introduce them to the one that can. The pressure should be off of our shoulders. We only have to tell our story. So what does this look like? What does this look like naturally? What does this look like for us? So I think there are 3 things that we can do starting tonight that can help us join in the fight in this battle to help and go and find the ones that are lost. So the first one is build a relationship. Now, I know back in the day that it was really popular to do like the street evangelism and the tracks and all of that. And some of those, they still work. Like some people are really, really gifted at evangelism. They can strike up a conversation with anybody. They can make it really interesting. They can make it engaging. Like those people are necessary, but that's not everybody. But what everybody can do is build a relationship. Who are you building a relationship with that your whole intent and your whole purpose is to share the gospel with them, to introduce them to Christ? This is why it's important to be nice. How in the world are you going to share the message with someone that you just cussed out on the phone? I'm serious. Yeah, how are you going to do that? Or how do you going to share the gospel with your neighbor when every time your neighbor says hi, you just ignore them? How do you build a relationship if you're not taking the steps to be kind? Because I'm telling you right now that if I was one of those people that you were trying to talk to and you were not kind to me, there's nothing you can say that make me believe what you were saying. You have to build a relationship. If it's not there, it's really not going to work. You can talk to me until you're blue in the face, but if we don't have some type of relationship, if I don't know you, if you don't know me, then it's not going to work. So the first thing we can do is build a relationship. The second thing we can do, we can invite those that we do know, we can invite them to church. Remember earlier I said there are 2 forms of evangelism. One is the one-on-one evangelism. Secondly, it is this corporate gathering. We put a lot of time and effort into that. Why? Because we know how important it is. Everyone can't be an evangelist and go out and just start talking to everyone, but anyone can invite someone to church. Anyone can do that. And so invite them to church. And the third thing we can do is you can share your faith consistently. So the way that you share your faith is through relationship. Who are you inviting into your house? Who are you having dinner with? Who are you inviting into your life? In this journey, we are not here to do this alone, and we're not here to do this as a group just by us. We're not a cult. Our whole purpose is to go and help seek those that are lost. Because at the end of the day, we want to be sure that we have done our part in helping people find hope, faith, life in Jesus. Why? Because it's going to change them. It's going to change them. And the only reason I know that is because it changed me. The only reason I know that is because it changed you. They deserve the same exact opportunity that you had. It's not your job to get them saved, but it is definitely your job to open the door for them. So how are we opening the door for those around us? It's important as we go through our daily life to keep our mission in mind. Remember yesterday, Pastor Rob was talking about orthodoxy, and I don't know if I'm going to say this right, orthopraxy, it's one of those. But he was talking about orthodoxy and orthopraxy. So orthodoxy is our right belief. Earlier, we said we believe this. We know that he's come to seek and save that are lost. We know that we are supposed to do evangelism, so we know it. But where's our orthopraxy? Are we doing it? Are we doing the right thing? You can't have one without the other. So we need to join in the mission, in the fight to do this, because it is our job as Christians to make sure that they have this same chance, the same hope, and this same opportunity. So tonight, I'm going to give you that opportunity. So over here to my right, there is a table. And on the table, it says Renew 2023. So what I'm going to want you guys to do here in just a few minutes, if you could, I want you to come up to the table. I want you to grab one or two pieces. For each piece you grab, I want you to write the name of someone that can use the gospel, that needs to hear the gospel. Someone you know. So I want you to come and grab one or two pieces, come back to your seat, and I want you to pray. I want you to ask God, who, for 2023, who am I looking for? Where is my part in this? What part do I play in helping you find the lost? And once he gives you those names or that name, those names, it doesn't matter how many, I want you to write them down on that piece of puzzles. And then I want you to take it home. And I want you to pray over it. And pray and ask God, God, give me an opportunity to share my faith, or give me an opportunity to invite them to church. It's a simple prayer. But it's also a dangerous prayer. Because what if he tells you it's that neighbor that you just don't really, you don't like? Well, still, pray. He'll give you that chance. He'll give you that opportunity. As you're going through your daily life, you don't have to change your routine, because they are everywhere, and he knows it. And he's placed you where he's placed you to give you this opportunity to help find those that are lost. So as you're praying over it and you have this opportunity, and you had the opportunity to share the gospel with them, or you had the opportunity to invite them to church, I want you to bring that puzzle back. And I want to see at the end of 2023, how many pieces of that puzzle did we bring back? How many people did we reach out to? How many people did we help introduce the gospel to? How many people did we introduce them to Jesus? How many people did we build a relationship with, so for the sole purpose of introducing them to the one that can save them? Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. That's what matters the most, because it matters to Jesus. He said, I've come to seek and to save them. You don't get it, Pharisees. I'm not here for the righteous. We'll have our time. We'll get there. But right now, it's not about you. It's not about the righteous. It's about the one that is lost. We need to go and find the one that is lost. We need them. Why do we need them? Because they are irreplaceable. I've lost them. I don't know where they are, but I know that you can help me find them. And he's placed you specifically where you are. Here in Florida, I love Florida, by the way, but here in Florida, he's placed you here. He's placed you at your job. He's placed you at that grocery store that for some reason, you always want to go to it. Or the mall that you always want to go to, your favorite place. He's placed you in those places for a reason. So ask him to open up that opportunity. So I'm going to pray, and I'm going to invite you guys to go to the table, grab those pieces, come back, and write down those names on that puzzle. Jesus, thank you that you are inviting us to join you in the search for those that are lost. Because at one point, we were those people. We were those lost people. And now we get to join the winning team. We get to have the opportunity to help find those that are lost and introduce them to the one that can change their life. I pray right now that you will start giving everyone in this room the name of the person or the name of the people that they need to be praying for, the name of the people they need to be looking for. I pray for opportunities daily to share their faith or to invite someone to church. God, I pray these things because I know that finding the one that is lost is important to you, so it is important to us. It's in your name that we pray. Amen.